Hi, I'm Lucy Dyson. Make sure you like and subscribe to
Josh.
to Josh.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Movement Theories podcast. My name is Josh. This is a theatre podcast for young people, the best one, according to my mother. Today we're joined by Lucy. We're talking about being a choreographer, working the last couple of days at Move It, the stress I'm sure that's come about. I'm sure it was Move It's massive. It's crazy.
It is. It's
Loads of things. Talking about NYMT. I met Lucy. She was the assistant choreographer on NYMT's first ever debut. What's it called again? In concert. Which I think they've rebranded to Platform or something.
Have they?
I think because people in the old chat were saying they're on something called Platform, which I think might be the same thing. And then that's touring as well. I think they're touring it this year. Because when we did it, it was one night with a few other.
I knew. I think the plan was to like do a few more performances.
I would have loved to tour
such
it.
A new thing.
Oh man, hey-ho. I had a question that I thought, because it's just like, my mum's messaged me, what are you doing? I'll give her a little reply actually.
Making the best podcast, Mum.
I'm making the best one. She actually is my biggest fan. Like, listens, so she was listening to all of them and like telling me how much she liked them. And I was like, oh, thanks. And it's got to the point now where I send them to her before I release them to get like a review. Hey-ho. I'll do this before we get into like who you are. Just because, why not? If we're in a room with like the best choreographers in the world, like just alive or dead, like the best ones, who would you want to become friends with? Who would you want to just have a conversation with, talk to? Who would you want to like do a workshop with, like they're leading a workshop? And who would you want to work together on something with?
That is an insane question.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my God.
I just thought of it beforehand and I was like, that's good.
One of my favourite people ever is Gene Kelly.
Okay.
I absolutely love him. So any of the categories for him. Absolute Fosse. I feel like you can't not want to meet Fosse.
But who do you want to like become friends with? Like
to become friends with someone nice.
Yeah. Have their phone number, be their buddy.
Be their buddy. Oh my God. That is
like if you wanted
crazy.
just to call them up.
You know who I love actually?
Who?
Paris Kavanagh. She's Australian. She's like contemporary commercial. She's like quite big at the minute. Yeah. She's insane. I think she's really cool. Yeah.
I'm really getting into commercial.
Are you?
Yeah. I mean, I was a contemporary dancer before I started everything. Yeah. And I've come to Bird and commercial is like one of my favourite classes. We did one with, I think it was an old Move It piece. And he taught us some of the choreo from that. Sam Stanley, he does. Yeah. Yeah. And it was with canes. And it was like, I just thought it was sick. I was like, I want to buy myself like a little practice cane and like just do stuff in studios. It was awesome. It was one of my favourite things.
She's like, it's commercial, but it's like contemporary commercial.
Because I like contemporary as well, so they go together well.
Yeah, it's like a nice little hybrid she's got going on.
I'll need to look her up at some point.
Defo.
I Google on here. And then who would you want to just generally have a chat with? If you had to pick one person though.
Oh my God.
Gene Kelly or...
That would probably be Gene Kelly.
Yeah.
I just think my favourite thing ever is, I think it was Anchors Away, and he does like the duet with Jerry from Tom and Jerry. Have you seen that?
No.
It's so good.
To add these to a little...
I feel like the film...
Yeah?
Yeah, literally. The film isn't like one of his most popular ones, but that little sequence is quite iconic. Like it's just so good. I could just watch that.
Who was it?
Yeah.
I was about to say, who was that Gene Kelly who did Singing in the Rain? Oh, because... we watched it and I was like, this is so cool. I don't know why. I was just like, this is awesome.
They just don't make films like that anymore. They're just unbeaten.
Yeah. Are there any other films similar? Because I haven't watched tons.
An American in Paris, that's a good one.
Okay.
That's Gene Kelly as well.
Add that to a list.
A good one.
I need to get your mic. This is terrible. Seven Brides, Seven Brothers.
Classic.
Is that good as well?
It is good. Yeah.
And then who would you want to work together like in like the credits? It's like Lucy Dyson
like a collaboration.
And
Fosse. Can
you
imagine? That would be insane. Me and Fosse. I think we'd get along.
Yeah.
I really do.
I haven't done enough Fosse work. I haven't like as a style that I'm yet to explore as much. I mean, I'm doing like jazz and I'm doing all of that, which again before I came to Bird I hadn't done. So it's all like
all new.
Yeah. On tap. Oh my days. Do you tap?
I do.
Well?
Yeah.
Yeah?
No, I'm not Gene Kelly, you know, but I love tap.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a bit lost though at the minute. Like it's not as big as it used to be.
Really?
Yeah. Which is a shame because I think it's amazing. But
well, I guess lots of new musicals and stuff coming out are all very contemporary.
Yeah.
Like everything I'm seeing or watching or hearing people talk about Like, what's some of the new ones? Standing on
Standing at
Sky's
Sky's
Edge.
Edge. I really want to go and see that.
And then you watched one, Little Big Things, which you said was so not as many of them having like tap influences, or they seem all very. Yeah, fair enough. That's probably.
Standing at the Sky's Edge. Isn't it quite sad? You can put a little tap
I've heard
in
it
there.
is. Yeah. There are a few other new ones as well, which might not be the most appropriate. I'm seeing physical theatre in a lot of things. Like that seems to be making.
Yeah.
They did my last NYMT was physical theatre.
Was it?
Yeah, we had a guy who does stuff with Frantic Assembly. I don't know if you've heard of him.
Yeah.
And he came in and did it, and it was very it's very physical. Yeah. I want to do NYMT again. I didn't audition this year.
Did you not?
Well,
it's a lot when you're still at drama school, I would imagine.
Also, like the years I did it, I was lucky enough to get funding, and I won't be able to get from the source of the funding. I won't be able to get it again.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, I don't know if that's going to be possible.
Yeah, it is a shame that.
But if you can get funding, or if you can afford it, I mean, it is. Let's talk about NYMT. It was amazing. It
is a really good experience.
It was sick. I wish the first one I had done. I wish I could have just I didn't want to leave. I wish we could have stayed doing things. No, going back to Exmouth. So I'm from Exmouth.
Yeah.
I can dox that. That's fine. Going back to Exmouth after I do anything exciting, I come home and I'm just going to like a depression. I just go into. I
think you're in such a bubble as well when you're in NYMT. Like it's like your life. Like you literally eat, sleep, breathe it because it's so intense.
Yeah.
So then when you leave, it's like, oh, what do I do with my life?
Mm-hmm.
It's really strange.
It's the same feeling when I go back home from being up here in London for a bird. I go home and I'm just like, I don't want to be here.
It's like you're living a double life. It's weird.
I want to go back to London and like go to classes, or there's a gym club nearby which I love going to, and like do exciting things. I mean, there's so much I haven't done yet, and I've been here for wow, I'm nearly finished my second term.
It goes so fast.
It has.
Flies by. Like you'll blink and you'll graduate.
Yeah.
And you're like, whoa.
God, that's. Yeah, Lucy. Lucy. Sorry, I'm deep. I just deep things. I think things through too much. Lucy, where did you train?
So I went to Kappa College up in the north. It's really, when I went, it was still pretty small. Like we were in a little secondary school, but now they've got this insane, crazy new building. Like it's crazy. So I went there for 2 years in musical theatre. And then afterwards, I went to the Northern School of Contemporary Dance for a year.
You trained
in my
contemporary
era, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I feel like in hindsight, it probably wasn't the right thing for me to do because I'm musical theatre through and through.
Mm-hmm.
And then I didn't do contemporary until I actually went to Kappa, and it was like completely new to me. And I was like, oh, I actually really love this. So then I did another year in it thinking that like I'm going to be a contemporary dancer. And then I trained in it full time, and I was like, actually, like this is not. And my passion is musical theatre and always will be. But
that's what I found with contemporary. I couldn't see myself doing it all day, every day.
Yeah.
I really enjoy it. And it's some of my favourite lessons that I have at Bird. But when I was looking at where I should go for university, I was looking at Rhombare and London Contemporary, Northern, a bunch of places. And I was like, could I see myself doing this every day? And I really liked the appeal, because I'd done musical theatre at that point for 2 years. I really like the appeal of like each day it's like you do like an hour and a bit of singing, and then you do some hour and a bit of like acting, and then you do some more dance styles and everything being different. And I was like, I'm gonna go give it a try, and I'm really glad I have. Musical theatre is just fun. I also feel like it's more employable. I
feel like now you have to be able to do everything, because I think even if you're in a contemporary dance company, you're still gonna have elements of like acting and like voice and stuff. So I think being able to do everything is so much more valuable.
I mean, people want storytelling.
Yeah.
Whatever you're doing. Like Yasmin Vardaman is a contemporary dance group, but they tell stories like Medusa, like Alice in Wonderland. So you need to be able to act. You need to be able to. I wonder if she'll ever introduce like singing or spoken. Have they? Oh, clearly I haven't.
There you go.
Did we? What did she introduce? What? I've completely forgotten. No, but not singing though. But yes, there's a bit of spoken word. That's true. That was really unexpected. So she's a creative that I would want to work with.
Yeah, she's great.
Little story time. You're gonna get many of these. I was watching I do remember this from watching a piece. I was watching a piece and they did this move which was like a backwards worm. And it was like...
Backwards worm?
Yeah. So you know like a kick up? You know when you like
Yeah.
you go to kick up? So imagine they rolled down onto their back, onto their shoulders, kicked up, landed on one foot, and then rolled back down again.
Oh, yeah,
and kind of
yeah,
like... Yeah, and the hands were like straight, so you're using your shoulders to push.
Yeah.
And I saw it, and it was like this, like literally a backwards worm on their back. And I went home and I was like, I've got to learn this. I've got to learn this. And then I think I spent like the next hour in my lounge like trying to figure out how to do this thing.
In the lounge.
And I got it, and it's been my favorite trick since.
Nice.
Yeah, and I sent you everything, and I was like, look at the progress I'm making. I was really excited. It's like I love going to watch things and seeing like new moves or skills that I've never even heard of, seen before, and like going and trying to do it.
Yeah.
I know it's just fun.
I feel like even if you see something you think it's terrible, like someone once said to me that you can always take at least one thing away from something that you've seen.
Yeah.
Even it's like, okay, well now I know that I don't like that. So if you can like steal little bits of moves and stuff.
There's a few things I've watched that I've not been like massive fans of, but I think that's really good because then I can go, oh well, I wouldn't do it that way.
Yeah, it helps you figure out yourself a bit more, I guess.
Yeah, no, totally. So you then did something with Phoenix Dance Theatre.
I did.
What is Phoenix Dance Theatre?
Phoenix is a contemporary company.
Another one.
So
okay.
they're based in Leeds. And I was at Kappa and I was at Northern at the same time. So I did. It was like a youth academy training kind of program. So I was there for 2 years and I loved it. It was literally like one of the best things that I've ever done. Like I have the best memories from doing that. It was so much fun. And then after I left, they asked me to work for them. So then I worked for them. I literally only finished working for them really about last year. So I was with them for a long time.
Damn, yeah.
And it was so much fun. That's where I did some like work with old people and
yeah.
probably shouldn't say old people, older adults.
I think that's what I said on a previous episode. My mum was like, "You can't call her old," and I went, "Oh, I'm sorry."
With the older adults, yeah. But yeah, they're a great company.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You were. This is Kaitlin, the camera person for today. Caitlin's doing a degree that will probably mean that you will eventually do workshops or things with different kind of groups.
Oh really? Using virtual reality and that's really cool. Nice.
Yeah.
Really
to be honest, like work is work. It's like it's what we're here to do. We're here to like to work and like do things. And I guess there's this mentality of like, cool, I'm gonna do musical theatre and I'm going to go onto West End, which isn't necessarily super realistic because there's loads of different things you could do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think if that's what you want to do and you're lucky enough to be able to just book show back to back to back, then that's great. But to be able to teach and work in different, still within the industry, but within different scenarios is so valuable. And I think we forget, like when you're training, it's very much like I'm working on myself and I'm going to make myself the best that I can be. You sort of forget how valuable dance and theatre and music actually is.
Totally.
Especially to like people with dementia and that kind of thing, like the impact that it has is like crazy. It's like monumental to their health and stuff. Like we literally use it, like the NHS use movement therapy and stuff to like, you know, change their lives really.
Yeah.
But we become so like tunnel vision, like working on yourself, that you forget that there's like another world out there that's not performing on a stage and not musical theatre.
Totally. What got you into doing choreography and like that being like your thing? Because you've been at Move It. Maybe we should talk about that. You've been at Move It. Is it Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
Literally just yesterday.
So yesterday,
just Friday.
Yeah. You going back? Was it a Friday thing?
No, just Friday.
Friday
this
thing.
year, yeah.
All day on Friday?
Yeah, it was long. So I work at a college in Leeds for a couple of days a week. So I was in Leeds when we came down. So I literally got up at like 5 a.m. on the coach. It was long, but it was good. I feel like Move It is such a good experience. But yeah, we did a class there with our students and it was a really good day, really fun day. But yeah, it was crazy hectic. And my watch was buzzing, like the sound is way too loud. You're going to bust your eardrums. I was like, oh God.
It's like a massive warehouse, isn't it? I haven't been.
Yeah, it's like a big exhibition centre.
I'll probably go next year. Yeah.
It's good fun, definitely worth going.
Did you see the birds? Did they do an opening?
No, I wasn't there for the opening.
Maybe not.
No.
I think they did. There was so much hype around the site and everyone was like, watch the new video that Bird just posted.
Yeah.
They were really quick with it as well. Like they'd go on stage and then like an hour or two later there'd be like a professionally filmed and edited thing put onto Instagram. Yeah. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. That's quick.
The dedication.
Yeah. I mean, Lewis like is so like big on things like that. He loves it. I really hope next year I get to do it. I think what it is with first years doing Move It, I think they kind of choose people who have come already able to do something at that level. I don't know if anyone would be able to, like, in like 2 terms, be like trained up enough for them to, like, because I've come with kind of no commercial experience, so I'm really hoping that like 2 years of training will give me enough to be considered to potentially do it next year.
Yeah, I also think that there's a lot of pressure to like be and Move It when you're in college. Like there's a lot of buzz around it, but like, actually it doesn't really mean anything. Like once you graduate, it's not like an indicator of you're going to be successful if you've performed at Move It. You know what I mean? But
go to an audition and they're like, "Oh, did you go to Move It? You're hired."
Yeah,
probably. I mean, I don't know. It
definitely doesn't mean.
It's an experience though, which I really want to do, but probably next year.
Yeah, it is a great experience.
I don't know how many third years do it though, because I guess you're in assessments and like shows and
really?
Yeah. The wild thing for me is, next year, like literally just the end of next year, I will have actually like finished, because you do your final assessments in the first term of your third year.
Really?
And then you spend like second and third term like doing like showcases and performances and stuff. And so my first term of third year is next year. And then like
it literally goes in
December.
It's crazy.
Which is wild to think about. Like that's not that far away.
No.
And then I'll be kind of finished with all my assessments and then just have like performances to do.
World.
Yeah. And then I don't know what the hell I'm gonna like even do afterwards.
Nobody does.
That's
Nobody
crazy.
ever does. Even when you've been worked for like, not that I have, but when you've worked for like 30 years, I feel like you still will have no idea what's going on.
Yeah. What are you currently like doing or wanting to do or interested in?
So choreography is like my main focus, really.
Yeah.
I do think it's hard to get into it because I've not really gone down the route of like I'm going to perform and then I'm going to be a dance captain and then I'm going to be an assistant. I've just sort of gone into it straight away, which I feel like is not the typical route. But that's like the kind of thing that I'm trying to push a little bit more and to go more into choreography, hopefully musical theatre. But at the minute, I'm working with like different drama schools and then freelance teaching and choreography. So it's like a bit crazy. I'm a bit all over the place, especially at the minute because I'm like half in London, half in Yorkshire, half like here, there and everywhere. It's a bit mental, but I kind of like that because it's nice to have a bit of like chaos.
Yeah, not just being stuck in one place.
No,
always.
I don't think I could, because I've like never done a job where I've solely been at one place. I think I'd find it so difficult to just like be doing one thing and that'd be it.
What got you into that? Like, when you were an assistant choreographer with NYMT, what made you decide that's what you wanted to go and do?
So it was before that for me, really. So I did a year at Northern, and then after I finished, I was like, well, that's not really what I want to do. Because my original plan when I went to Northern was to do, I did 1 year, and then I was like, right, I'm going to keep going and go to like a conservatoire or something. Yeah. But then I finished and I was like, oh, that's just really not the path that I want to take. And then I was like, I auditioned at like different drama schools and got in there. But then I was like, I don't think that's what I want to do either. So I just sort of fell into it. I started teaching straight away and I enjoyed doing that. But I was like, that's not where I see myself completely. I don't want to do that forever. And then I did an apprenticeship, well, not apprenticeship, it was like a mentorship scheme with Sheffield Theatres. And I assisted and was like mentored by Matt Flint. And we did Guys and Dolls. He is a choreographer. He's brilliant. He does a lot now on TV, like he does Strictly. And he's the creative director of Ant and Dec's Saturday Night Takeaway.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so he's doing all that kind of thing now. He's amazing. His choreography is insane. But at the time he was doing Guys and Dolls, so he like mentored me and got me into it. And I did that. And that was like the first experience I'd had of being on a professional show.
Yeah.
And
Guys and Dolls is amazing.
Oh my God, it's my favourite musical. I love it. Yeah. I'm obsessed with it. The one that at the bridge as well, I don't know if you've seen it.
Yeah, we have. Yeah.
It's so good. Yeah. I love it.
Massive.
It's definitely a fave.
I think they've got a new cast now, didn't they?
Switch around. It's just changed.
Yeah. I want to go watch the new cast. Honestly, like it was, I took you like as a surprise and got there and I was just like standing immersive.
Oh, did you?
Tickets.
I was sat, but I feel like standing would have been so much fun.
I was really lucky. It was on Boxing Day sale, and so the standing immersive were actually the cheapest ones I could get, and so I was like, great, whoa, like that is a show that everyone needs to go watch.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's just done so well.
I feel like it's a stage manager's nightmare having to like
100%
maneuver people around.
Yeah,
but
totally.
It's so good. It's such good fun.
Yeah.
I love the little halftime show they did as well.
Yeah, we got you up. They
really
sat on the thing when they raised, and then we got like the coconut cocktails.
Oh, that's so
And like,
fun.
yeah, it was awesome. And then I love afterwards that there's like a dance circle, and then you can just go in and do a few little tricks, and like everyone's like, yo, and like I just find it's just one of the best shows.
Yeah,
One of the
good.
best shows. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
you were working underneath Matt Flint. Do you wanna-
So he sort of mentored me really and got me into it. And then I was like, right, okay. So I didn't want to do musical theatre because I was like, that's not really, I just didn't see that career for myself really. And then I was like, I don't really want to do musical contemporary either. But that was like, right, this is like what I want to do. So then I started just with like local places, doing some choreography bits with them, and like the teaching that I was doing a lot of choreography for that. And then I did NYMT, and that sort of like pushed me further forwards, really. That was such a good experience. And yeah, it's just sort of gone on from there, really.
Nice. But I think it was over Christmas when I started getting ill. I was like, stop. I didn't actually, but that was when I first thought to myself, potentially. And then it was a couple of weeks ago where I actually decided I would.
I feel like if you keep going with it though, it could open so many doors for you, definitely.
Yeah, my main hope with this, like obviously everyone like thinks about like the views and subscribers and blah blah blah. My main hope for this is just to network, which is what we'll talk about in a second. I just want to be able to meet people and invite people on and have conversations and like just get to know more people. Also, I'm like socially wise, I'm fine talking to people, but I just don't do it. Like at college, I'm not like this at all. I'm just quiet, get on with my stuff, you know, very serious. Just like I'm here, train, go home. I don't go out much. And if people don't like approach me with a conversation, like, I'm happy just sitting in silence. Like I love my own, like just space. So this is actually like it just makes me socialize, makes me talk to people. And networking will be great. Who knows who we could get on? People I don't know. Maybe I'll just send a few DMs out and see if someone will. Yeah.
Do it.
It's also good for like, for example, if you know anyone who'd be interested, it's like then we could use you to potentially. I mean, that's what we've done before. Yeah. Okay. Where should we pick up from? What do we have? I mean, I think we've kind of gone through your main topics already. Yeah. How long was that? I didn't check. How long we've been going for? I try and have them in that like 40 to an hour and a quarter range. Because actually all we've got left is I love the advice. Is that really everything we've gone through? Working with drama schools, working with older people, NYMT, Matt Flint, Move It, choreography.
I suppose we could talk more about NYMT because we both did that, didn't we?
Yeah.
So you could talk about it from your perspective as well, I guess, and what it's led on to.
Actually, I've got maybe a few things I can ask about choreography as well.
Yeah.
All right, we'll do those two things and then we'll go into the advice. Nice.
I like your little Yoda.
Thank you. I've got a Mandalorian over there, which has
very nice
Kaitlin's glass on it. I'm a big Star Wars. I just love it.
I've never ever in my life watched a single Star Wars film.
That's poor. That's poor. Well, I appreciate that you knew. Yeah.
I know Yoda.
Well, it's
That's
not
the
actually.
extent of my knowledge,
It's not
really.
actually Yoda.
Is it Baby Yoda?
It's Baby Yoda. But actually, you knew that as well.
I knew
so
that.
there you go. You
So,
passed.
I'm actually winning. I only recently just watched Lord of the Rings. It was tough. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it was a tough watch.
Wait, which one did you watch?
I watched all of them, and then I've still got like an hour left of the last one because it's just so long.
Yeah.
Like, surely it doesn't need to be that
And
long.
why? It was for someone.
Yeah,
like-
my boyfriend's really into it. So
Yeah.
he was like, you've got to watch it. And I was like, okay,
Did he make you watch it at the same time, or was it like spread over?
Spread over.
I made Kaitlin do 12 hours straight.
No, actually would have passed away. Like that would have been too much.
Yeah, with my family. Yeah, the extended.
Yeah,
12
we had
hours.
the extended version.
Because I'm a massive Lord of the Rings fan. Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, Marvel. Earlier than that. Well, we kind of started at 8 until 8 p.m. It was great. I mean, and I went into the shops and brought loads of snacks and like food and like pizzas and all sorts. It's one of my favourite things. I love rewatching them each year. I'll just do like a day and I go
Really?
through all of them.
I feel like if I'd have watched it when I was younger,
Yeah.
I would have been into it.
Uh-huh.
But I think coming at it, I was like, it's just like they're all just fighting. Like, surely this could have been summed up so much quicker. Literally would have finished this like halfway through the first film.
Yeah, there's a couple female appearances in it. Enough you can put all of the female appearances into a 1 minute reel.
Does it pass the Bechdel test?
What's the Bechdel? Remind me. I've heard of it, but I can't remember. No. Oh wait, no. There's one moment, and it's where a mother and her daughter, and the daughter's like, "Mum, I'm cold," and that's it.
Wow.
So there is. It passes. That's valid. I'd say. I think it's just that one moment, I believe, in the entire 12 hours of film. It is my favourite thing ever.
I'm more of a Harry Potter kind of gal.
Yeah, same with you. What about
That was how we watched one of them spread.
Yeah, that was our first Christmas, wasn't it, together? And then the second Christmas, I was like, my turn, Lord of the Rings, all in one. What about Narnia? Have you ever watched?
I do love a bit of Narnia.
Yeah. We've watched all three now, haven't we? I mean, I watched them years ago. I don't know how.
I saw the first one. I haven't seen the other two.
Yeah, I mean, have we finished? I don't think we finished the third one. No,
Love the first one though.
first one's great,
That's the
classic.
best one.
And Greta
Hands down.
Gerwig is making a Narnia
Is she
film.
really?
3-part, I heard. So I don't know if she's doing the same or if she's doing the other stories from the other
Well,
books.
she should do them all because there's like 8 books, I think.
There's
isn't there?
tons.
So many books.
Yeah. So I'm super excited, especially after watching Barbie. I was like,
I've not seen Barbie yet.
oh, it's good. You should.
I know.
You
I really
definitely
should.
should.
I love Little Women, but I've not seen Barbie yet.
Yeah, well, the way she did Barbie makes me excited for her to do Narnia. I feel like she'll do it.
Have you seen her Little Women?
No.
That's a similar vibe to Narnia, so I feel like
Little Women, what's...
It's about Little Women.
I-
4 sisters.
Was that... You know when I did my work experience with OVO?
Yeah.
Was that Little Women they were doing? I didn't pay much attention.
It's really good.
Yeah. I mean, I only saw a few of their rehearsals. It's for
Florence
film. Little
Pugh.
Women. Oh, she
Still.
and... She's...
She directed it.
Yeah, but it was Florence Pugh. Florence Pugh was in it.
Yeah, Florence Pugh.
Watson,
Oh, good cast.
Meryl Streep.
Really good cast.
Timothy Chalamet.
Wow.
Mm,
Oh, maybe I will watch it.
you should.
Yeah.
And Saoirse Ronan.
Mm.
Nice. What about the June films?
I've not seen those.
Oh, they're good. Well, I mean, I like them. Did you like the second one? You didn't watch the first one. I
They're
just need.
quite long though, aren't they?
It was 3 hours.
As
The
soon as
second one.
something's over 2 hours, I'm like, I can't. My attention span does not hold up.
There are a few things. I think it depends. Depends what it is. Like if it was something I really liked, I would watch it for 12 hours straight. If it was Sound of Music, I have to watch it in 3 parts.
Sound of Music.
Oh, it was just
That's my
so.
mum's favourite. She loves it.
It was long. It took us 3 sittings because I was like,
To watch the film?
yeah,
Really?
I didn't like it.
Not even the music?
It was all right. It was fine.
I loved it.
It's Caitlin's favorite, but I was like, can we just take a pause and like I can't continue for today. And then it was like a week later we then did like a bit more. It's fine. It's fine. It's just not
I
my.
do like a bit of sound music. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
It
you were
feels
in it as a
Christmassy
kid.
to me.
Yeah.
Like it feels like Christmas if I watch it.
Like when I had a sick day at school.
No, Lord of the
Mm.
Rings is Christmas for me. That's the
Really?
classic Christmas.
Harry Potter is Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially the first one.
Yeah. 100%.
Christmas.
Yeah. Definitely not the Leo.
The last one was so festive.
They were really good though, and we did watch over Christmas, and I thought it was fine. Like I'm not. In terms of Christmas films, if someone's like, "What's your favorite Christmas film?" It will never be an actual Christmas film.
You watched Home Alone?
Yeah, they're all right. I guess I don't know if I'm getting a bit old for it now. Let's get a bit
For
bored.
Christmas.
Well, we did watch over Christmas.
Being in Elf was fun. That was very good.
I didn't even get to watch that because I was up here. Oh no, what was the one that you went but I didn't get to watch? I did watch that. Oh, Little Shop of Horrors was I didn't get to watch. Have you seen Little Shop of Horrors?
What in real life?
Yeah, person.
I've seen an amateur version of it, but not like not a pro one. They're doing it now though.
Are they?
Yeah. In fact, the lady I assisted on my first NYMT is choreographing it.
Oh.
Yeah.
See, what a small world. Like, it's always things like that I find
Yeah.
I find awesome because, who was it? Was it Hannah Chiswick?
Yeah.
Did Eugenius,
Yeah.
didn't she? And then Bird this year decided to do Eugenius as their Move It MT piece, and I was
Really?
like, I know the lady who directed.
Yeah.
directed
She actually
that.
had a lot of people from NYMT in that.
Oh yeah, it's
show as
Joey
well.
Seaside. I saw
Yeah.
was I like I think his Instagram's awesome.
Yeah,
It's very funny as well.
brilliant.
Yeah. What other, pardon? Sorry, I'm in film mode.
Being carried away.
But yeah, NYMT. What have you done with NYMT? You've done a few shows with them now, haven't you?
My first one, I would have been 21,
How-
I think.
How old are you?
23.
23.
24
okay.
in July, which is disgusting.
Mm.
I still feel 16, genuinely.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it is.
I guess in my head, I haven't gotten over secondary school yet, which I guess is weird, isn't it? To be 19 and not over it. Yeah. Like, I still feel like I should be doing those. I feel like I should be there still.
See, secondary school feels like a different lifetime
Oh,
ago
really?
for me, but
No.
at the same time, I still feel
Mm-hmm.
like 16, 17.
Yeah.
It's weird.
No, I'm in my like year 10, year 9, like that's the equivalent for
Year
me.
10 era.
I just feel like I should be why
A
am I here?
child.
Yeah, I still feel
Not
like
ready
a
to be an
child,
adult.
but I guess I am. I am 21 next year, which doesn't feel right. It also feels weird that like I have friends who are also like 23, and I'm like, back when I think this links into the school thing. Like when I was in school, I was never really friends with people much older than me, and like you were, because of you did musical theatre, but I never was, and so I was like scared of like people in the year above. But now I'm friends with people like 4 years older than me. Like Liao, she's 23. She helps with the podcast, and is and that feels strange because that's like when I would have been like 16, they would have been like 20.
The
How-
gap closes between people
Yeah.
who are older than you when you get like past 18. Yeah.
I guess because I'm still in that like headspace of like I shouldn't be here. I should still
Imposter
be a kid.
syndrome.
Like total imposter syndrome. I'm like I shouldn't be friends with people who are much older than me, but I am. Which I guess also going into first year at any drama school, it's not just 18-year-olds.
Oh no.
Like it's a whole range. We have 16-year-olds because we have diplomas. Like we had Ofsted come, which
you really?
did not help with this whole like imposter syndrome. I was like I'm being watched by Ofsted in my acting class
Yeah.
because we have 16-year-olds, and so I was like I still
strange.
feel like I'm in school because I think you need it if you're on a diploma and you're 16 officially. You're not out of because I guess that's sixth form for them, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
Kind of.
kind of makes sense. But it was really weird. Like I was doing a stage kiss for the first time, and we had Ofsted round, and he used me as a guinea pig as like how you should approach a stage kiss, and this is how we teach it here. And I was like doing it for my scene, but hadn't done it yet, and then I had to do it in front of Ofsted.
That's wild that they did that with Ofsted.
Yeah, and he was like showing Ofsted like how they'd like approach scripts with like this type of content in, and I was like, this is really uncomfortable for
Being
me.
watched.
Yeah, and this lady was like with her like laptop like taking down notes, and I was like, okay,
Oh,
thanks.
that's
What
crazy.
happens if you just puts bad kisser or something? He's like,
Making students kiss.
I didn't like it, but it was like it's a learning thing, isn't it? And also, I think I was the only person in my year to do one, to take the script that had one. However, here's how I think about it. Okay, come third year of your course, you're most likely going to do a musical that has some sort of something in it.
Yeah.
For example, last year they did Spring Awakening, which had loads
Yeah,
of.
that's
Or come graduating, being in a show that has that. Now, if you avoid it in first year and second year, you go like, oh, I'm not going to take a script that does that. Come third year or graduation, you might never have done it before. And then it's like, but now there's pressure on me to do it right or like professionally. But you've never had that experience. So if I can just get the awkwardness and the horrible out of it in first year and in second year, hopefully by third year, if I'm having to do stuff like that on stage for agents watching, they're like, wow, he like knows what he's doing. Like that was really believable. Or that was really, yeah. I mean,
I think it comes down to how it's being dealt with in the room. Because I know people that a few years ago went to drama school and they would have been like 16 and had to do stage kisses with people a lot older than them.
Oh, right.
Which
Yeah, we
is,
kind
like,
of avoid.
completely-
Yeah.
But I feel like it has got better. But I think intimacy directors need to be like, it needs to be a safe space. Because if it's
Yeah.
not, then you shouldn't
Yeah.
be doing it.
Yeah. There definitely is that kind of awkwardness still, whatever. But I feel like if you kind of got more experience doing stage kissing, you might not have as much. I feel like it's always going to be. I watched a clip of this is to do with June, Timothy Chalamet, and he was being interviewed, and the interviewers just kept on asking, he was like, what was it like kissing Zendaya? And he was like, it was work. It was,
I mean, it's genuine. It's like choreography, really. That's
Yeah.
how they set it up.
so
isn't
that's
it?
that's how he did it. He did it like a fight call, which I really liked. And if I ever go into anything creative, I don't know, like, because it's something that I'm interested in, and we'll talk about choreography in a second. Like, I feel like that's how I approach it, like a fight call, because it's like choreographed, it's practiced, it's done like this, which kind of takes a lot of the weirdness away, because it's like, I'm just doing a sequence of movements.
Yeah, I mean, an interview director is still quite a new thing. Like, I feel like it's still something that's developed. It's something I'd love to be trained in.
Really?
So I think it's so like, it's going to be used more and more, I think, as well.
Well, I think with the way like the world and the industry is turning, like,
it's a good skill to have.
Yeah, a lot of things such as like trigger warnings, and like everyone's being a little bit more respectful. And so I feel like maybe interview directors will. I mean, I don't know. I've never worked with one, so it was just my teacher doing it. Yeah. Well, I think that's great. You know, I think it's a useful skill to have. Talking about choreography, I never know where to start. Like, I will be like, okay, yeah, I'll like start trying to choreograph something, and then I go, nope. But I am good at like inputting ideas partway through the process. But, like, what do you think about that? How could I try and change that around? Where do you get your initial inspiration from?
It depends what kind of thing I'm doing. I think if it's musical theatre, I need to be like immersed in that world of whatever it is. So if it's like, I don't know, say, I haven't done anything like this, but if it was like an army piece or something, I need to be like, well, what kind of shoes are they wearing? Like, how would they be able to move with what, if they've got like big shoes on, like how are they going to be able to move if they've got these shoes on?
Yeah.
Because that's going to impact on the rest of the thing that you're doing. Or like, I don't know, like you just have to be, I make a mood board.
Okay.
So like if I was doing, when I did Billy the Kid, like if I was to do that now with what I know now, I would have made some sort of like cowboy kind of mood boardy kind of thing, and sort of use that as a starting point and like look at how they moved back then, like what kind of movement music was popular back then, like what kind of dance moves did they do if they went to a club kind of party kind of thing, and sort of start from there and build up some sort of movement language for whatever piece it is.
So it's kind of like doing your in-depth research.
Yeah, I think the more prepared you are, the easier it is, because then you've already got like a bank of knowledge and ideas beforehand, rather than just going into it blind and being like, right, I'm going to make like a, I don't know, a hoedown thing. Like, I think you need to be researched.
Yeah.
But then it's different again if you're just doing like a random dance piece and there's no like context behind it. It's just sort of like you're free to do whatever you want.
I mean, I find it all very difficult, and I would love to choreograph more. I feel like I'm quite a creative person, but I just struggle.
I think it helps to build up a bank of like different like exercises that you can do to sort of get you into some movement. So like different ways of developing music. I find it easier to do it through music. Like if the music isn't inspiring me to do something, I find it so hard to make something. So I have like a little playlist of things that I could choreograph to if I wanted to. So then if someone's like, I need you to make a jazz piece, I'm like, right, well, I know that this song, I'm going to have something if I listen to this song. So I suppose like, I don't know. I think you need to find what inspires you and then find some sort of way to develop things from that. That's probably really not helpful at all.
No, but, I think it is.
I think the music sort of is the starting point for me. I find it easy to like improv to something and then be like, right, I actually quite like that move, or I want to see where that goes, and then it's just trial and error, I guess.
I think with me, with improv in mind, I'm fine improvising contemporary. I think because I just haven't done the other styles as much. It's like our commercial teacher, Sam Stanley, says like, okay, or I think he said a while ago, in third term we'll start to do some more like improv stuff, and I was like, I have no idea what I would do, because I don't know any, like all of it. Every week I'm being taught a movement or sequence of movements that is completely brand new to me, and you've got some people in the class who have like would have done it loads of times before, and so because it's like with tap, when I first started I didn't have like any sort of sequences, I didn't have anything in mind, so I was approaching every like bit of piece or choreo that we would do as like 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, then 6, whereas now it's like that 1, 2, 3, 4 is just one. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I guess with like these other styles, everything is still 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, instead of like that collection of things is just one, and I think about it as just one. And so I think that's why I would struggle with the improv, to then put that on to like choreography.
I think with
That makes sense.
improv is scary. I hate that. You know, when you're in a class or like an audition, they're like, and then improv for the rest of the song. I'm like, oh, kill me now. But I think you need to think of it less of like, well, this is a commercial class, so I need to whip out some commercial moves, and think of it more like, right, this is the song. Like, what does the song make me want to do? Rather than being like...
I guess I don't think about the music enough, which is bad.
I find it easier to improv if I like let the music guide me, rather than being like, I'm doing jazz, so I need to do a kickball change and then a leap. Do you know what I mean? Like, sort of go with that kind of mindset, I guess.
I find the improv in classes that I've done in the past, like in a class environment, it's kind of okay, and I have fun and I enjoy it. And I get to an audition and I'm like, yeah, I've done improv before. And then it just goes. Like I went on the way up here, I was telling you about NYDC, and it was at the final round, the very last thing we did. I was really comfortable with all we'd done leading up to it. The final thing we did was an improv circle, and they got everyone in like, it was a horseshoe with the creators at the front, and they called up a couple people at a time, and they were like, just put on some random track. And there were some of the tracks where I was at the start of vibe, and I was like dancing to this, and then they put one on, and I go in, and I'm like, it just wasn't it didn't give me anything. And so I just started like kind of dancing and moving around, and I was like, oh. And when I left, I was like, that really sucks.
I feel like it's so easy to get in your head when you're doing improv, because you're like, everyone's judging me.
Yeah.
And then I think with contemporary, what I found when I was training contemporary, I felt like I had to like emulate everybody else that was there, because everyone else was like quite like quirky and was doing popping and all of this kind of like contemporary. And I was like, oh, it's not me, but that's what everyone else is doing. So I feel like I have to shadow it. But I was like, actually, that's not me at all. Like, that's not how I dance.
Contemporary is very broad, isn't it? So you're always going to have loads of different.
Yeah.
I guess it's just being true to yourself and doing what you're
absolutely. You just need to be
comfortable with.
Your own individual self, and then it's easier.
When you were choreographing, you did ragtime.
I did ragtime, yeah.
And then I know you also done the one that I was on in concert. As a assistant choreographer, like what behind the scenes, like what were you doing? What was some of like your kind of input influences? How did you work with a creative?
So every process is sort of different depending on who you're working with. So the first one that I did with NYMT, I did Billy the Kid, and I assisted Sunny Saini, who's doing Little Shop of Horrors now.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. And with her, we had like a couple meetings, I think, beforehand. This is like so many years ago now, it feels like forever ago. We had a couple meetings beforehand about like what we were doing and what the sort of vision was, like a production meeting with everybody. And she was very open to like me contributing stuff, and I had another assistant choreographer with me at the time as well, so there's two of us, which was quite tricky because normally it'd be like you and just them, I guess, but we had like a bigger team.
Right.
But she gave us like a whole routine and was like, you just do it. So she was very like, I'm not precious about my own thing, and you're just there to like take notes. It was like quite collaborative.
That's good.
And to be fair, like everyone that I worked with at NYMT was sort of like that as well. I think when we did the concert, we had a much shorter space of time, and because it was so technical in terms of we had those big boxes that everyone was doing, so it was very much like keeping track of where the hell these boxes are going and making sure that like no one's going to crash, and if one person was ill on the show day, it was like, right, well, who's going to step in and do the tracks. It was sort of more admin-y, making sure that things flowed,
making it all work.
And I think as well, because Chris was directed and choreographing it was
I guess
hard. Like he had a lot to think about, rather than it being like, I'm just going to focus on the dance. He was doing everything. So it was just like being there to support him as much as possible. And then when I did ragtime, that was sort of less of a dancey show, and there was a lot of like difficult topics. Like I don't know if you know the show.
I do a little bit.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's heavy.
But yeah.
But again, that was sort of the same. Like I was given a routine to like add my own little spins in, and then it was all sort of like making sure that it flowed properly, being there to warm people up, that kind of thing. But it was also like you sort of took on a role of like making sure everyone was okay after the rehearsals and stuff, because it was such a heavy show, and everyone was really young. So it was just making sure. Yeah. I mean, there's some people that were older, but there was like some young kids in it as well. So it's quite varied, and it sort of depends on who you work with, but it's sort of just supporting the artists that you're with as much as possible and making their job easier so that they're not having to worry about like, you know, people's different tracks. If someone's not there teaching them what they've missed and that kind of thing, it's like a lot of jobs under one hat.
Do you find there to be like a pressure on yourself to prove yourself? Like, I have to do like a good job at this. Or do you ever think about it like that? Because I feel like that's what I'm always thinking about.
Yeah, I think there's always like a little element of pressure. I mean, I put a lot of pressure on myself to like try and do really well. But I think you just got to like trust your own talent, I guess, which is hard to do. And I think imposter syndrome comes into it a lot as well. I think because I'm still quite young in terms of choreography as well. Like if I'm in a room on my own and it's just me and I'm not assisting someone, it's very much like there's a lot of pressure on me to like prove myself, I guess, because it's like, well, you could have just hired someone that's like, you know, been doing this for as long as I've been alive. But you've just got to trust, like you're there for a reason and you've been chosen for a reason. So you've just got to do your own thing. Yeah. And trust yourself.
Is there, I mean, you mentioned about Guys and Dolls. Is there a particular show that you would really want to work on?
West Side Story.
Okay,
it's my favourite show.
Nice.
And I love it.
Yeah.
And there's so many different styles in that as well, because you've got the Jets and the Sharks who are completely different. So I would love to do West Side Story. I'm manifesting it, bring it into the atmosphere.
Well, look, you've got a long time ahead of you.
Hopefully.
23 is young. That is. It feels old from my perspective, but from like a...
I'm ancient.
But from a wider, like if I'm looking at it, the big picture, so yeah, manifest it. Who knows? That'd be sick. That'd be really cool. And then I can be like, oh, it's on my podcast.
I'll hire you.
So we have a new section on the podcast, and it's called Love Your Advice. It was created by an ex-guest called Maz, who's very jealous that I've stolen this off her. And it's basically each week we will ask you, the watcher, on Instagram. So go give us a follow there for some questions that you would like advice about a chosen topic. This week's networking, which I love talking about networking. It's why I do this. This is my version of networking.
And it's a scary thing.
Yes. Yeah. Talking to people who you haven't talked to before or who are a name and you're like... Because I always like watch... I love the Sidemen. And I always think... This has got nothing to do... I always think, like, if I see them in public, what would I say? Like, how would I approach them? If I was in a situation where I could talk to them about something, I feel like I'd just go, I like your podcast. What's good's really good. I've got one too. You should watch it. I don't know how I'd start.
It is tricky to navigate.
Yeah. What questions? So this is a question that we've been given. What questions should you ask when networking? What do you think?
It depends who it is and depends what kind of relationship you want to have with them. But I think it's not so much about what questions you ask, it's more the relationship that you build.
Okay.
So I would say just think of it as you're making a friend kind of thing, and go into it more like that rather than being like, because I think if you go up to someone and you're like, right, I need to get some information out of you because that's going to help me, it's very one-sided.
Yeah.
Whereas if you actually build a relationship with someone, then you've got a friend, and then it's more likely to build work because then they'll be more likely to be like, well, I actually want to work with them because they're a nice person. Yeah. I think you always need to be the nicest person in the room, basically. But I guess just like if you were to meet someone new and it's someone that you look up to or something, I suppose you just introduce yourself and don't be like, how do I put it? Don't like know your worth, I guess.
Okay.
I think it's so easy to like dim yourself down when you're speaking to someone, but actually like you're probably really talented and you've probably got a lot to offer. So make that known. And if there's something you want to know, I guess ask, but don't go into it as like a transaction. Like I'm going to you because you're successful and I want to know how to make myself successful. Because then they're not going to be like, oh yeah, they were really cool, I want to work with them. It's more like you just need to build relationships. That's what it needs to be, more than just I need to ask them loads of questions.
Something I find it quite funny. So Kaitlin done musical theatre years, you know everything about it, you love it, it's your favourite thing. And I hadn't. So what I find funny is that I might bump into someone and have no idea who they are, and like tell Kaitlin, I was like, oh, I met this person today, and they were really cool. And she's like, what's their name? And I was like, I don't know, Jeremy Jordan. And she's like, what? Like who knows? Like what could?
Go down the route of like we're talking about relationships, and you're networking to get into musical theatre was getting in a relationship.
Oh, was that what you thought? Oh, my bad.
I'm
Sorry.
using you for a bigger purpose.
No, I'm doing musical theatre because of you, not like I haven't like used you. You've like you've influenced me to do this. So like at the that's throwing me off now. Okay, that's throwing me off. At the in concert at where we did just one night at the Sondheim,
Mm-hmm.
the lady who was hosting it, I had a conversation with her. I had no idea who she was.
Mm-hmm.
I still can't remember her name actually.
Was it Maria Friedman?
I might have been.
I wasn't there. I don't know. Can't
But she
remember.
was hosting it, and I was in the wings and just got chatting to her about all sorts of things.
Yeah.
And then like my friend was like, "Do you know who that was?" No. So I need to do my research to actually find out who people are.
I mean, I think it's important that you do know who people are, but at the same time, like they are just normal people.
Yeah.
So I think if you see them as like being on a pedestal,
Mm-hmm.
it's not going to gain you
Yeah.
anything.
I always thought like if I come into this not knowing who people are and I just like talk to people like that will mean I talk to people like normal people.
Mm.
But I guess the only problem is like if I'm in an audition room and I don't know who's auditioning me, who the casting directors are, that might actually put me at a bit of a disadvantage.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely
so-
got to do your research, but
I've probably got a lot of catching up to do. But I always thought it'd be really funny when I first started, like, I don't know, becoming friends with someone and then finding out that they were like the lead role in a West End show or something. Not that it's happened, but yeah, I don't know why, but I think I had a dream. I think I had a dream that I was at the Sondheim Theatre and I just like bumped into this older gentleman and I was like, oh, so sorry. And then like we started talking and like became friends. And then like I told you and showed you a photo and you were like, that's Cameron McIntosh, like the billionaire who like runs everything. It was one of those things where I thought with networking, I was like, well, if I just don't know people, then I'll just approach everyone as a normal person. But I guess you kind of got to know people and still approach them as normal people.
yeah, because
they are normal people.
Everyone started from something, you know.
Totally. What do you think the best way to meet people is?
Oh,
How would you go? How would you, or where have you met people who has been like where you networked?
You know what I think was actually really useful? When my first ever job was working front of house at a theatre, and it was a producing theatre, so it was always like new stuff going on. Like there was a lot of creatives being in there because they'd actually make the shows there and then put them on, and that was really useful for getting to know people. I think you just got to make yourself like. You've got to be easy to talk to, and even if it's like really daunting to actually go and speak to people, you've just got to fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
So I think that was actually really useful. But then I suppose now, I mean, Move It, that was yesterday. That was really useful. Just going up to people and just being really nice. And I actually bumped into Matt Flint yesterday as well. So I was like, it was like a little reunion.
Yeah.
So I think it's just, you just got to put yourself out there and not be afraid to just be yourself and go and speak to people. 9 times out of 10, like the worst they're going to do is ignore you, and then it's like, well, do you really want to speak to them anyway if that's how they're going to be?
Yeah.
But I suppose going to shows, just putting yourself in places where you're most likely to meet people. I think going to class is a good one, especially if you're done. I think I don't know how the acting scene works in terms of classes and stuff. I don't know if there's a lot of that going on, but dance wise, definitely just going to as many people's classes as possible.
Yeah,
I
there's
think
tons at base and Pineapple.
And the thing is, with
stuff.
open classes like that, a lot of the people that are putting on those classes are also the people that would be likely to hire you. So I think in a way, going to those classes is almost as important, if not more so, than actually going to classes at like drama school and stuff.
Yeah,
because
I've got to start doing that.
Yeah, that's the place where, you know, the people that aren't maybe working on a show now, they're doing open classes instead, or they're doing stuff alongside the open classes that they're running. I think that's one of the best ways to meet people, definitely.
Nice. And then starting in conversation, so this is another question. We've got 4 questions from this week.
Nice.
Third one, how to start a conversation about your work.
Oh, that's a tricky one. I wouldn't go into it straight away.
Yeah.
Because I think then it's like, it's just all about you. And then it's, again, like, I want you to give me something rather than it being like a, you know, communal thing. I would sort of get chatting with them first and then bring it up and be like, oh, I'm doing this. What's your thoughts on that? Or I'm doing this. Like, do you have any tips?
Yeah.
For doing something?
I guess
Have you
like,
done
what's
this
your
before?
thoughts on is quite a good kind of like, not starting, but if you've had your main conversation and you kind of go into like, oh, what are your thoughts on?
Yeah.
And it's like I feel like people like maybe. I feel like people like giving advice. People like going like, oh, that's cool. Like, what do I think
people
about that?
like to feel like they're valuable.
Yeah.
So I think if
definitely
you can
do.
like hype them, like, oh, I saw you did this and I thought it was really amazing. I'm doing this kind of thing that's a little bit similar. Like, do you have any advice or I don't know, just like little things like that. Hype them up and then ask them a question.
Yeah. I feel like it's a very human thing to enjoy praise, to enjoy like
absolutely.
people.
Everyone loves being told that they're really good. Do you know what I mean? So no one's going to be like, oh, well, I'm not going to talk to you.
Yeah.
So I think if you can like, I suppose again, just be nice and then they're more likely to want to actually have a conversation with you.
I've said this before. I don't know how long ago, but I think in the industry people need to like compliment more. People need to just like say nice things because and then start hearing people be like, oh, that was like really bad, or that was terrible. When it wasn't, and they probably know that it wasn't. And I've fallen into that trap a few times of being like, oh no, that really sucked, whatever, hoping someone will tell me like, no, Josh, that was really, really good, for me to go like, really? You think so? Like, I feel like maybe if someone's done something that is good, like, not to be scared to just tell them.
Definitely.
And I feel like there isn't as much of that. I think there could be more.
Yeah,
Definitely
I always encourage, if I'm teaching a class as well, I'm like, if there's groups and we're performing, like, you guys at the side better not be silent. Like, you better be hyping those people up because it's scary, like, putting yourself out there and making yourself vulnerable.
Totally.
And I think we can be so precious about dance and performing or whatever it is that you're doing. So to have a bit of extra support, it goes a long way, you know?
Yeah. Some of my favourite classes have been the ones where I was like about to go and dance and like someone was like, let's go, Josh, or come on, Josh. Like when someone just like says one thing to me and then I like
makes difference.
Have so much more energy.
Because then you're like, actually, I can do it. Like I'm gonna go and do better.
And then I attack it more.
Yeah.
So I think people just generally could. I also, when a teacher says something to you, even if it's a small thing, like, oh, that was good, or like, well done, or
it stays with you.
Yeah. And I think teachers should do it more.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I feel like I've watched some people in class do something amazing, and I just wish that the teacher had like.
Have you ever done a Robbie McMillan class?
I haven't. He was in Guys and Dolls.
Yeah, he's the best for like hyping people up.
Is he?
He's amazing. Okay. Like you would come out of his class feeling so much better than when you went in because he just hypes everybody up.
Yeah.
Like I have videos and you can hear him in the background like, yes, because he knows, he makes an effort to know everybody's name as well.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So I think just little things like that go such a long way.
Yeah.
Which again, just being nice, it makes people want to go back to your class and work with you.
I think I actually have looked at one of his classes. I might go. I don't go really into London to do classes. I'd prefer like doing a gymnastics one or something. But I think that's just because it's what I'm comfortable with, and I have like a clear like this is what I'm going to work on. This is what I've got to do. Yeah. Whereas with these kind of new dance styles, a bit more like jazzy, commercially, whatever. I don't know. I always worry that I haven't done enough of it. It's like let me just train first at Bird before I. But maybe I should push myself.
Definitely. I think it shows work ethic as well. If you're there whilst you're still training, people are like, oh, that's that guy that's a Bird. Like, and he's still coming here.
Yeah. Maybe I will. Yeah. Well, I've got a new job now, so I could start doing that with that money.
It is expensive. Like it's an expensive thing to do.
Yeah.
But if you can afford it, definitely.
Yeah. Nice. Last little one here. How can you make yourself stand out?
I'm gonna sound like a broken record, but literally just being nice. The people that I remember are the people that are nice to work with, have good work ethic, are polite, and they're the people that I would want to work with again, and the people that I would employ. Yeah. If I was doing something else.
For me, it's just anyone who's like complimented me or said something nice about me. I'll remember them because of that, and I'll go like, you were great. You were like, yeah, which I guess just links into the saying well done and stuff like that more.
I think work ethic doesn't go unnoticed. Like if you're there, say if you're, I don't know, you're trying to look good. It depends who you're trying to impress, I know. But if you're in a class, say you're in training and you're there early, you're like one of the first ones to arrive, one of the last ones to leave, and you're always working hard and you're always like pushing yourself, trying to get yourself to the front. I think saying thank you to your teachers after you've finished is so like just little things like that, which shows your work ethic and your drive and your ambition. That's going to make you stand out the most.
And I guess on the reverse, from a teacher side of point of view, the teachers that stand out to me are the ones who just say like, who have those little compliments throughout the lesson or those little things, and like who, I don't know, who just like verbally think that they think what I'm doing is good, and then I go, that's my favorite teacher.
Yeah.
And then I kind of go into the next lesson with a much more positive attitude.
Yeah.
Whereas, Yeah. Oh, yeah, totally. Because there are some times where the feedback feels very generic. This is not just where I am currently. This is just my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
And I go like, okay, what does that mean? Like, that's very like wishy-washy. So when it feels really like they've thought about you and like they're doing something because of, yeah. And I think that goes both ways. Like if you can do that for other people.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Cool.
Absolutely.
I think the thing that I just take away from everything is that I'm just excited to like go out and do stuff.
Yeah, you should be.
Yeah.
It's scary, but it's fun.
Yeah. Like there is that kind of terrifying nature of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I also like I just want to go and do it. Like I'm ready. I'm not ready. I'm not. But I just want to graduate and like just go and have a crack and
Yeah.
see
And
what
your training
happens.
literally never ends. Like you're always constantly training.
Yeah. Do you do many classes now? You've like you kind of don't train now. Do you still? When was the last time you did a ballet class?
A ballet class.
Yeah, like that's something I'm in because
Crikey.
I had one of our last guests who works kind of as a professional. We're talking like about the classes they do, and they're like, I haven't done ballet for
I haven't done a ballet
since I
class in a
graduated.
long time.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh. I did in lockdown
yeah,
because that was all there was to do, was do classes.
yeah,
An actual physical ballet class, not for a long time. I do teach ballet,
yeah,
so I suppose my own
yeah.
was the last time. But I try and go as much as you can because, I mean, especially because I moved to London in July. I was like, I've got so many classes and so many studios literally around my doorstep. Like I'd be stupid not to take advantage of it, and it is expensive. So it's like sometimes you can't afford to go to classes all the time. But if I have the time and the money, then I definitely will
Yeah.
put the effort in.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's trickier when I'm up north because there's not as much going on, which I'm trying to change.
Fair enough.
Because I'm going to try and put my own class on. But
Oh, nice. Yeah.
yeah,
I would like to do that for Devon because that's where
Yeah.
I've kind of grown up, and there really isn't much.
no,
There's like a cat scheme. You know the cat scheme
Yeah,
around the
yeah,
country.
yeah.
So there's one of those in Exeter. But otherwise, oh yeah, K Crook does like a contemporary Indian kind of blend, and her. Yeah, which is awesome.
you know what? You've got to give it to the contemporary scene because I feel like they are
Oh,
putting
100%.
on classes for
Yeah,
people
100%.
and putting out. But I think jazz is like fading away a little bit. Like
I
I don't
don't
think
see
there's much
anything.
going on outside of
No.
London, which is so sad.
No.
Yeah.
Before I auditioned for drama school, I hadn't done any jazz, and so I found one, and it was this very kind of it was good, but I think I did 3 classes there, and there was like I think, and it was it wasn't near me. I had to travel to go to it, and there was like 5 of us kind of taking part, and so I did like these 3 classes, which was all my preparation before my jazz auditions, which I should have done it for longer. But I'm at Burren, which doesn't matter. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but there really wasn't much. I didn't have much option. So I would like to, after I graduate, just to go and work in that area. A bit more rural. 'Cause
I need
if
to put on my own open class. I've been saying it for ages. I just keep
Yeah.
putting it off. I need to actually do it.
do
So
it.
if you're in Leeds, I'm going to put a jazz class on. You need
Yeah.
to come.
Would you do one in London?
I would. I think there's already quite a lot in London.
That's true.
But I think as you get past like North London, it's like there's nothing, hardly anything, especially for like jazz. And I think heels, there's quite a lot going on
Okay.
and contemporary, kind of. But I think once you've graduated and you're a professional or if you're just an advanced dancer, it's so hard to find classes that aren't in London, and not everyone can afford to get to London. Even if you just live in surrounding areas, it can be expensive just to come in, and then the classes are expensive, then you've got to get back out again, and
Yeah.
it's a lot. So I think there needs to
Yeah.
be more
The cost adds up.
options. Yeah,
As
it
well, I'd
does.
always want to combine something like that. Like I know I live like near London, but I'd always, if I'm ever going in, I'm like, I'd try and get as many things out of it.
Yeah,
If I was to go in and do a class, I'd also go and try and combine that as like when I go watch a show, we'll go and do like have everything together
most of
instead
it.
of one day going in and doing a class and then coming out one day
adds
going
up
in and
so much.
yeah. I mean, I don't watch enough shows.
That's expensive as well.
Yes, my mother is amazing, and yeah, well, no, she's great, and so it was when all the tickets came down, and she like looked everywhere and tried to find all of the best like prices. So thankfully, we were watching Standing on the Sky's Edge.
We went to Standing at the Sky's Edge for my birthday.
Oh, I really want to go and see that.
And then we're going to see Showstopper, the improv musical.
Well, I think that'll be good.
Two strangers karaoke across New York.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah. We also, what was it we watched? It was a comedy. Free Noises Off. That was really good.
Oh, I've heard about that.
Yeah. That was yeah.
Yeah.
I want to
that's
watch A
really
Play
good.
Goes Wrong.
Oh, it's so good. I watched Peter Pan Goes Wrong as well. That was really good.
Oh, nice. Yeah. I want to watch another immersive. Because Girls and Dolls is like, it was pretty immersive. Have you heard of Punch Drunk?
Yeah.
So they did the Burnt City.
Oh, I've heard about this.
Oh my.
I really wanted to go to that.
It
The
was-
tickets were crazy expensive when
Yeah.
I looked.
Yeah.
Oh,
I do. Honestly,
oh,
I
honestly.
don't pay for things if it's not on a sale.
As you should. That's quite good.
Yeah.
Because when I looked, it was like 100. I was like, I can't.
Oh,
justify
yeah,
that.
yeah.
And
No, it was
that's-
on a really good sale. It was incredible.
Really.
Kaitlin was terrified. Like, kept on, like, going like this. Or, like, would scream. Yeah, because you're all in masks.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the thing with the repetition is, like, because we'd follow, like, one character around.
Yeah.
And then, like, they'd repeat it, but we wouldn't realise. And when we started following another character around, and then, like, we'd be a crossover where, like, we'd watched two scenes, and we'd already watched, and we're like, hold on, this has, like, started. It was such an interesting... Yeah, I want to watch
It
another
did
one.
look really cool.
Yeah.
The last immersive one I saw was a cocktail experience. You made cocktails at the same time. There was like something
Really?
going on. Yeah.
Wow.
It was wild.
What was that? Where was that?
It was called Avora.
Avora.
It's in Shoreditch.
Okay.
It's really good. It's worth going. Have you heard
Yeah.
of the Alcatraz one where you're like in a prison?
Oh, I have.
It's like that.
I have.
It's
Yeah.
like that, but yeah, you're in like a weird
Mm.
space thing. And they make you wear like jumpsuits.
Banging.
It was good.
Yeah. I want to watch a few more. I think my next things that I might book will be immersive, I imagine. Right. It is time-wise. We're probably should be wrapping it up.
Yeah.
It is 20 past. So I never do the like and subscribe thing.
Do it. Hype yourself up.
Because I'm meant to do it at the beginning. Like, that's the classic. It's like, say at
Like
the
and
beginning.
subscribe.
You know what? I'll do this. We've done this a couple of times. Can you give us, hey, I'm Lucy Dyson, you should like and subscribe. And then I'll cut it and I'll put it at the beginning as like straight away, as like a little ident, whatever. No, not that. And then, yeah. Can you give us,
Okay.
look at the camera and give us a little...
Do I have to say my name?
If
Mine's
you-
not the hardest
okay,
bit.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Yeah, say Lucy Dyson. Yeah, give your name.
Okay. Wait. Oh, pressure.
I know, this
Give
is
it a
what I
script.
felt. This is what I felt at the
It's too
beginning. It's
much.
terrible, isn't it?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Lucy Dyson. Make sure you like and subscribe to
The movement.
Josh.
To Josh.
to Josh.
To me.
So here.
To here. Thank you. I appreciate that. We'll edit that and put that at the beginning. Maybe include that whole bit.
Maybe an idiot.
Great. Well, go follow Lucy. Probably links in the description. Maybe if you remember.
It's just my name.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? It's
It
just
is.
Lucy.
Lucy.Dyson. Or
Um,
Lucy Dyson Choreo.
Oh, I don't think I follow.
Account.
I don't think I follow.
Fake fan. Didn't do his research.
That's terrible. That's awful. I didn't realize you had one. Is it in your bio?
It is.
Go follow. Go follow Lucy. I'll do the same. Yeah, make sure you like, subscribe, do all of that. If you enjoy the episode, like, tell us, comment. We don't get enough comments, so we'd appreciate a few more. And yeah, thanks for watching. This has been the Movement Theories podcast. I'm Josh, and I'll see you next week. Bye.